To improve your energy, sleep is the basis, but there are two other extremely important parameters that we will see just after. And on all the points that we are going to cover, it only takes one failure to spend a tired day. It's not true to have energy or to be happy, or even to learn you need to sleep, and a lot at that. Generally between 7 and 9 hours, and the truth is that it is often more 9 hours than 7. But to sleep well, you have to prepare for sleep, and there are two important areas for that. You can't go from playing Resident Evil to sleeping like a baby. It doesn't work. The two axes for improving your sleep are the environment and your physical state. To sleep well, you need a room that is not too hot, between 17 and 22 degrees. Simply because during the falling asleep phase, the body will drop in temperature, and if the room is too hot, the mechanism will not work. And in the other, on alert, asking the question, am I not going to die of cold during the night? So no need to set 22 degrees in the bedroom, and if you want to do naughty things, get under the covers. To sleep, you need total darkness or almost, so we stop using night lights or sleeping with portal lids. Your brain constantly interprets the amount of light around you to identify whether it's time to sleep or party. So the less light the better. A good criterion is to stretch your arms, and if you still see your hands in your room, that means there is too much light. To do this, close the shutters or invest in blackout curtains. To sleep, you need silence. So if you sleep in a noisy place or if your partner snores like a tractor, invest in earplugs. I've had molded earplugs in my ear for 12 years and it's clearly life-changing. And if you don't want to invest in this kind of thing, you can simply take a less noisy partner. It's up to you. The mattress is extremely important depending on your body size and how you are going to sleep. You will not need the same mattress, but when you find a mattress that suits you, it changes your life. By the way, stop believing the influencers who suggest you order a mattress kit to deflate at home. Clearly it doesn't work. You need to test them in store or even test them at home, and if it doesn't meet your expectations, bring it back. By the way, a mattress should be changed every 5 years. I'll let you do the math. Correct? Perhaps you should think about changing it. You spend more than a third of your life on this mattress, so clearly I can't understand that your phone costs more than the mattress. So ditch the iPhone and head to the king of bedding. Unsponsored video. Now that you have an ideal environment, the question to ask yourself is, in what physical state should I put myself in order to be able to fall asleep correctly? So you know the story. Screens send light into your eyes and give the message to your brain that it's not time to sleep and it's time to party. So yes, you can lower the brightness of your screen, put an anti-blue light filter. There are even glasses that exist for that. But the truth is that it doesn't really work. If you really want to optimize your energy 2 hours before going to bed, you have to stop consuming screen time. Yes, I know, but you have to know what you want. And as we said previously, that we need 8 hours of sleep. This means that from 8 p.m. we are on TV. And at the same time ends the intellectual pollution of the France news or the long series which could have been summarized in 2 episodes. Instead, you can pick up a book or just do nothing and take some time to think. Yes, it's possible to do nothing. It's weird at first, but when you get used to it, it's constructive. At this part of the video only, I lost 80% of the viewers since I suggested making an effort to improve your situation. So if you are still here, that maybe means that you can learn things and progress. So I invite you to subscribe to the channel. To be in good physical condition for sleeping, it will be important to be regular in your bedtime and wake up time. And yes, on weekends too, you have to be regular. It's not possible for your body to understand what to do when you go to bed at 2 in the morning on a Saturday. And you'll have to go to bed like a baby at 10 p.m. on Sunday. What common sense? What's your social life? Are you afraid of losing your friends? No problem. You go to Sunday lunch brunch and that way you're not in trouble. And to wake up in good conditions in the morning, we will stop the iPhone alarm clock based on. And instead you will be able to use a light alarm clock on the iPhone. There is an application called Light Alarm which will allow you to wake up with light instead of a shrill noise. And speaking of waking up, never snoozing. Personally, I can't understand this madness. Wait, waking up is really not pleasant, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start again in 7 minutes, and I'm going to do this until I'm late, so I'll be very stressed all morning. What's the reasoning behind this? We're talking about temperature again. Yes, but this isn't about the room, it's about the body. We have seen that to fall asleep, the body's temperature must drop. And if you have just done sport and you are boiling hot, it doesn't work. And the same atmosphere for everything that can raise the body temperature. No sauna, no jacuzzi, no hot shower before going to sleep. And if you have to take a shower before going to bed, cold shower if you are a real lukewarm shower if you don't feel like it. And at worst, you can take a normal shower and finish with 5 minutes of cold shower just to bring the body back down in temperature. Then we move on to drugs, and I'm not just going to talk about heroin, but about all the substances you could take that could affect your sleep. So of course, anything that is tea or coffee, we stop drinking it very early in the day. For example, in the hospital it is from 10 a.m. that we stop giving coffee to avoid disturbing sleep, so you understand that the 8 p.m. coffee isn't even worth it. In coffee and tea there is caffeine or caffeine, and these are really substances that will encourage your body to stay awake. It can be used, for example, in major boost phases where a lot of energy is needed. Always in drugs, everything that is alcohol, CBD, weed are really things that will make you feel drowsy, but which will not really accompany you to sleep. So give up the crap, it doesn't work. And the last trap you could fall into in substances is melatonin, this beautiful sleep hormone that you could take to fall asleep. In fact, to find a good state of sleep, you actually need melatonin in the body, but you need a low level of cortisol. Cortisol is the stress or wakefulness hormone, and if you have both, that is to say cortisol because you have been on TikTok for 2 hours, and at the same time melatonin because you have just taken your magic pill, well, what will happen is that you're going to have nightmares, you're going to have light, restless sleep and crappy rest. So if you have put everything in place to have the lowest cortisol level, no rest screen, subdued light, great moments of relaxation, and despite that you can't get to sleep, maybe melatonin can help you, but that's it. And finally the nap, so you should know that the nap is really something for a good sleeper. If when you get into bed, you get under your duvet and after 15 minutes you go into the arms of Morpheus and you only come back at 7th a.m. with a little bit of light there, you can afford to take a nap during the day. But if when you get to bed it's a mess, your brain is super busy, you have a crappy night and you've had a blast during the day, clearly the nap isn't going to help you, because the 15 minus 20 minutes of naps that you are going to take during the day will disrupt your cycle, and it will be even harder to sleep in the evening. The second extremely important topic to address to have energy throughout the day is food. And personally, before I was convinced that I lacked energy because I didn't eat enough while I was tired because I ate too much. And it's by eating less that I have a lot more potatoes. So be careful, disclaimer, if you have eating disorders, anorexia, bulimia, or if you have diabetes, I invite you to consult a doctor. What I am going to tell you in, maybe it's not for you, but for others there is a food that has colossal consequences on the level of energy that we will have during the day, and I name sugar. And when I talk about sugar, I'm talking about all sugars, slow sugars, fast sugars, pasta, potatoes, sweets, fruits, honey, white sugar, same fight. Sugar is sugar. Variations in blood glucose will cause loss of attention and fatigue and mood fluctuations. And to avoid glucose peaks, there are things to do that aren't just crazy things. They've been scientifically proven and they work. The first thing will be to rearrange the order in which you eat foods to allow less sugar to be absorbed by your body. The idea being to first eat fiber to try to create a mattress that will limit absorption, then eat proteins, and finally finish with sugars. Slow sugar or fast sugar doesn't matter, but to finish with sugars. For example, you can start with a big salad, then eat a piece of meat and finish with pasta. Another element that seems even more advanced, but which also works, is drinking a tablespoon of vinegar during the meal. So yes, the first tablespoons are quite difficult to swallow, but clearly it passes quickly. One of the ideal vinegars is cider vinegar, and by diluting it in water it makes a little bit like an aperitif drink. There are some who drink spritzes and have fun. This will also limit the absorption of glucose by your body. And finally, just after eating, it is possible to do 20 minutes of physical exercise. It can simply be a walk for the same reasons. The objective is to limit the glucose peak in the center. To go further on this theme, I really invite you to explore the book I Make My Glucose Revolution by Jesse and Chos. It will turn your brain around food and really open up new perspectives for gaining energy. The third extremely important theme to address in order to have plenty of energy is how we manage our mind. Because if you have high levels of stress throughout the day, it's going to be very difficult to feel energized. And if you have a high level of stress throughout the day, it will also be harmful to your sleep. It is in the moments when we do nothing that emotions will resurface, and very often it is when we are lying in bed and trying to sleep where we really have time to bring out our emotions. And if our brain has the possibility of remembering the argument with Michelle or going to sleep, very often it is the argument with Michelle that we keep in mind and rehash. And if in the evening you start to procrastinate instead of heading off into the arms of Morpheus, it's probably because there are things missing in your day. The first thing that will greatly help regulate your stress is to exercise. For the less sporty among us, 3 times 30 minutes of physical activity already helps reduce overall stress levels. Ideally, 3 sessions with moderate intensity is really ideal to have a real impact on stress levels. And you don't need to do CrossFit to get the benefits. Doing 30 minutes of active walking is already enough. In addition to being very beneficial for stress levels, it will also improve the cardiovascular condition of the body, and this will also help you to be full of energy. Doing relaxation is also something that is extremely positive for stress. It can be yoga, it can also be meditation or deep breathing. But doing this type of activity regularly, daily, helps reduce stress levels and therefore also improves energy. And another important element is to take real breaks. Very often we have days that follow one another without a break in this day, where when we finish work we go to sports. When we finish sports we go to pick up the children. When we finish picking up the children we have to do homework, and finally we don't get a break at all. Even worse, when you take a break from work, very often it's to pick up your phone and look at your smartphone. And these days, even when we go to poop, we have our phone with us to watch TikTok. And the problem with not having a break is that the brain is never in rest mode, and it will tend to get tired much faster than if it takes regular breaks every 25 minutes or every 1 hour. And taking a break is not looking at your phone, it is not reading, it is not talking with a colleague, it is really not doing anything. And in truth, there is a lot missing in our days to do well. With these techniques, you will be able to experiment and find what suits you best to optimize your day. But above all, you have to understand that to gain energy, you have to make a conscious effort and surely sacrifice a few hours of television, social networks, or video games in the evening to be full of energy the next day.